I had that song stuck in my head earlier today.
All I know is I just see a couple of good-looking guys kind of looking right back at me. I'm going like, when's the fan mail going to start coming?
Right?
You would think.
You know.
Wow, welcome to the Midnight Society.
I'm in space.
Hey Echo, welcome. Vanessa, hello. T Betty, hello. Al Lucard, thank you for coming in.
That guy. Jeez.
That guy, yeah. That guy has some fangs on him, I'm telling you.
It does. You gotta watch out.
What are you gonna do one of these days when your wife makes you drink holy water by mistake?
Uh-oh. I certainly hope that's not what's in here. Otherwise I'm in trouble.
You better be treating her nice, really, really nice all the time, because you never know. She might slip in that holy water.
She might.
Hello again, Vanessa and T Betty. Welcome. Yeah, we are nearing the tipping point. Hi, June. Welcome. We are approaching the tipping point into our Friday the 13th series. This is film number 5 out of 11. Next week will be 6, and we'll be on the downslide. I don't know about you, Al, but I've been enjoying the hell out of this.
Me too, man. I'm really getting a new appreciation for these movies.
Yeah.
By doing this, I really am. And they're way more than people think they are. Like all of them.
Yeah.
It's shocking.
Yeah. It's just been really interesting to see all the dynamics around it, from the filmmakers to the cast and the crew. I mean, there's some similar themes in all these movies. We'll touch upon a little later. Hi, Katie. Hopefully you're doing well. There's been a lot of interesting aspects about this movie. Like you said, it's sort of new to me as well. I'm appreciating the movies a lot more.
Yeah.
It isn't just slash and dash and run.
Yeah. No, there's definitely some thought even put into the bad ones. You know what I mean? There's way more to it than everybody gives it credit for.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that as far as the slasher goes, I mean, right now I can tell you right without a doubt, and this might spark up some people, but that's just how I'm calling it. But right now, I definitely can say that I'm enjoying this a lot more. This is a better franchise than Halloween is for me. Definitely. Hey, Hobbs, how are you doing, my friend?
Maybe one day we'll touch on that.
Yeah, well, we're definitely going to do that. Because we're going to have to do that ranking thing, right? We have to rank the films at the end. We're going to do rankings, but we're going to do rankings a little differently because everybody does the same thing, and it's just like, I don't want to just do that. What's your favorite movies from 10 from 11 to the 1? We're going to do something a little different, a little twisty on that when we get there. Thank you guys all for coming. Those who can, please feel free to share us out. We appreciate that very much. The more Jasons, the better, as we all know, or we will know. We're doing good. How has been your week so far, Al?
This was a pretty good week because this is my weekend off, so it was okay.
Oh, that's always good. Hey, Betty.
Yep.
Thank you for coming in. Betty's here. That's awesome. Have you connected with her yet? Haven't you?
I believe so.
She's got a really good channel. I watch her channel. She's sharp. She's real sharp. Yeah. It makes me watching her, and she's talking about the different things going on with the world and the prices and everything else. I'm just like taking notes, going like, okay, yeah, she's right. Yeah. So, do you watch anything interesting?
I watched Kung Fu Zombie.
That's right. You're joining. Tell us the news. What are you doing this Tuesday? You're doing
Tuesday,
something new.
yeah, it's gonna be my first Dollar Tree Theater episode featuring
Hell yeah.
Kung Fu Zombie.
See, there we go, Hobbs. Got you another one for Dollar Tree Theater, dude. You're gonna get addicted to that, Al. I have no
Since now I
problem. No,
finally have access
I
to a
have
Dollar Tree
no.
that has movies.
Yeah, I had this has been the easiest review series ever. I think it really helped is when I asked people to help vote for it.
Yeah.
Though this week was really tough because I grabbed two movies from last week. I grabbed Dragon Wasp and The Killers Within. I presented them like these are two perfect Dollar Tree movies. I said, here we go. We're gonna vote for this. And they had Cheetah's Choice. It's not even close. It's not even close. Now I have to pick. I have to have Paladin pick the movie because nobody wanted to see a Dragon Wasp but Charles. Thank you, Charles Cochran. And nobody wanted to see Killers Within.
Hmm.
So I have to after a week from Tuesday. I have to me and the Cheetah. We have to pick the movie, and we don't know what we're gonna watch. Dollar
Nice.
Tree Theater is hell of a lot of fun. It's a great series. It's fun to do. You just stock up on the movies, and
That's
you
what I
stock
do.
up on the movies, and just have like a stack. You could do what I'm doing. You can let your audience pick it for you. Put a poll up. If you don't know which movie that you want to watch.
Well, that's actually what I did. I did it on Instagram, and I had people vote, and I
Oh,
actually got a lot of people. I actually got a lot of votes, and
mm.
Kung Fu Zombie did win. That is legit. It actually did win.
Who is it going against?
I had about 10 movies on the screen. I'm like, just pick one. I'm
You
like,
put
"Here,
that
which
many
one do you
out?
want?"
I
Huh?
put up two. I put up two. I guess I could create. I guess I could do more.
Yeah,
Um, I could do. I just do two in the Cheetah's Choice. Would you put 10 and the Bat's Choice, or
yeah,
track?
yeah, cool. Yeah, okay. Fang's choice. Yeah,
Yeah, put Fangs out there. The Bat's Choice.
Fang's choice. There you go.
Which movie shall we put to the stake this week? You
But
should, it's too bad they don't have them, but you could do it for fun. But you should put some Hammer films up there.
yeah. Hey,
Make
you never know.
make make it all make it all Dracula theme. Which movie gets to stake this?
There you go. Yeah,
uh,
that's
yeah,
one way to do it.
yeah. I didn't. I went with a little bit more of a adult movie this week. I did a drama called No Reservations. So, um, which I got really lucky because I forgot to put Cheetah's Choice on there, and so people voted for it. It was a deadlock until someone came in at the very last minute and they voted for No Reservations. I was like, yes, I got a winner. Um, See, Echo saying he came across a few movies at a dollar store. Got to pick out which ones I review. Yeah, not only do that, Echo, but build up a little supply. That's the key to doing Dollar Tree theater. You gotta grab like 8 or 9 movies and put them aside.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think what I did was I put any movie that I got for $1.25 downward. I slid into Dollar Tree theater, which enables me to do a lot of
Oh,
my live.
you want to see it? Where is it? Yeah, I can show it to you. This one right here. I don't know if you can see it.
Wow. Let's see. Is that the multi pack?
Yeah, it has 7 movies on it. Kung Fu Zombies.
Nice.
Yeah, this
Nice.
is after that. It has 7 movies on it, including Kung Fu Zombie, We're Gonna Eat You, Shaolin versus Evil Dead 1 and 2, Spirited Killer 2 and 3, and Kung Fu from Beyond the Grave. Yep.
That's perfect. That's such a Dollar Tree theater pack right there. That is epic.
Yep. Yep.
Um,
Good stuff.
I will show you guys next Sunday. Boy, that's a bumper, right? I will show you next Tuesday or next Sunday what 2 movies are going up next. I can tell you that both of them are going to be scarier than hell. I hope. All right, so you guys are here to listen to us break into some Friday the 13th. So, like I said, we are almost to we thought we ended it last week. I thought so. I thought the final
With the
chapter.
final
You know,
chapter and all.
I told Alice, we got rid of the Friday the 13th series. We crushed it. And what are we doing now? And he goes, well, wait a minute. That's not it. That's not it. There's a new beginning. And I'm going, what? And he says, yes, you're not done yet. And so here we are talking about Friday the 13th, a new beginning.
Boom. Ooh, that's a nice slick copy you got there.
Thank you. Courtesy of Screen Factory.
Yeah. Oh, I wish I had that set.
Yeah. I'm really excited for this. I know this is the one movie, I think the only other movie that gets heat from the series, if I'm not mistaken, in terms of heat. I know a couple of them do get heat, but I think other than
One of them.
Jason Goes to Hell, I think that this is probably like the second most divisive as far as the films go.
Probably, yeah. Between that, Jason Goes to Hell, and Manhattan, yeah, probably those three for sure. Yep.
Yeah. I see some people are calling, I've seen it more than once now, but some people are calling it Jason Takes Vancouver.
Well, yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
So this movie is why don't you take us off and start us off down the trail of a new beginning.
All right. Well, this one takes place in 1989. So this is a few years after part 4, which was the final chapter, which we covered last week. So this one shockingly does not start with a recap like all the other sequels did. This is the first one to not have the recap. So it starts off with Tommy Jarvis from part 4. Same little Tommy Jarvis, played by Corey Feldman. And he visits Jason's grave in the rain. It's pouring down raining again.
Yeah.
There's this whole rain motif throughout this whole series.
I think the rain is like a co-star.
Oh yeah, big time. I like Jason and Rain. That's just like But yeah. So then two, like I'm gonna call them grave robbers because that's kind of what they are.
Mm-hmm.
They show up and they want to dig up Jason to see if he's really dead. So they dig up good old Jason. And of course, he's buried with his machete.
Of course.
So his machete pops out. And of course, he kills the two grave robber dudes. And then he hops out of the grave. He looks over. He sees little Tommy Jarvis in his raincoat.
Yeah, bright yellow raincoat.
Bright yellow raincoat. Reminds me of Georgie in It, by the way.
Yeah.
And so he's sitting there in the rain, and it's pouring in his face. And then Jason starts walking toward him. And then he goes back with the machete, goes phoom. And then it cuts to older Tommy in a van on his way to Pinehurst, which is the Unger Institute of Mental Health. So he's going to a mental health facility. And boom, opening credits start. So that's all we know so far.
Yeah.
So what did you think of that opening?
Well, I thought you definitely had a feeling that right away you sort of knew that it was a dream. It was their way of tossing it back for a flashback because it showed Tommy at the same age, and you just know that he was sitting there watching that, and seeing two people dig up a grave like that would just be sort of like, it would be really unusual, and he's just he's just terrified, and he has so many bad experiences, as far as dreaming about this. He saw those people die and whatnot. So I'm not surprised. I wasn't surprised by the start. It was, I knew it was a dream sequence, but it was done very well. And quite honestly, I mean, he's dead. Why would you bother digging him up?
Right?
It's just like I was just like, that's so weird. It was a weird start to it.
Yeah.
Um, and I thought it was effective though, and it established the fact that he had been terrified for these dreams for what 8 or 9 years now. Because
Right.
I think he's supposed to be like 19 or 20 in the movie.
Something
So
like that. Yeah.
because he was 12 when it happened, so I think it was like 7 years because he was 19 or 20, and
Yeah. He's
yeah,
got.
he'd been through different hospitals too. Hi,
Yeah.
Jamie. Hi, Paul.
So, Paul, to answer that question, neither. I got my name from the son of Dracula because I am the son of Dracula.
Yeah, he could be the son of Herman, but that's it.
Apparently, I'm a younger clone. I'm a younger clone of you.
Oh, uh, oh my gosh, that's so funny. Uh, all right, yeah, they a little couple of trivia though is that they actually filmed that. Well, Corey Feldman was because they wanted him to come back to play Tommy,
Right.
and unfortunately, by that time his star started to rise, and he was doing Goonies when they did this. So they made they went and they shot that sequence like in a weekend, in Corey Feldman's yard in his house. That was actually at his house in his house's backyard, and they
I
filmed
thought
that
it was his
scene.
neighbor's house. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
His house or his
yeah.
neighbor's house, something like that. Yeah.
So that was it was cool, and and you could definitely see how Corey Feldman, because I thought he did a really nice job as portraying the fright. I mean, he definitely
Yeah.
looked scared. He definitely looked scared in that. I thought it was really great. Um, and then when they brought, when he woke up and we see that he's an adult now, um, he just felt really sorry for him. That's the first thing I thought of when he woke up after that dream was I feel really bad.
Yeah.
Welcome, Paul. Glad you're here. Um, and he's in the back of the ambulance. Um, and the two people are driving it. One guy sitting there with a porn mag, and he's sitting there opening it up so that Tommy could see it. Um, and it's just they didn't have any compassion or care for him. They were just dropping him off, and that was it.
So even though it was a dream sequence, the two grave robbers are counted in the kill count, by the way.
Really?
And I'm gonna give you the full kill count when we're done.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I got it all written down, ready to go.
Uh, um, so they get to the facility, and it looks like it was really unusual because you were expecting to see a fence of some sort, or it was like a minimum security facility. It was just like there was, if you wanted to walk off the property, no one's going to stop you. Um, it was just, and it was like there wasn't any holding cells, there wasn't any like straps or anything else like that. It was just almost like a halfway house, so to speak. It's like
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Let's see. Jamie saying that oh yes, me too, June. I felt sorry for him too, to keep reliving that nightmare. Yep. Jamie says going to see this movie was the most fun I ever had in the theater. She was 11, stuck in this local theater with my babysitter on Halloween. The place
That's
was rowdy and loud. Yes, that's
awesome.
yeah,
Yeah, that's super cool.
that is fun.
Yep.
So, what did you think? What did you think of the facility? I mean, they it almost looked, even though it wasn't supposed to be, but it almost did look like Camp Crystal Lake. But even though it was supposed to be several counties away.
Yeah, it definitely had a Crystal Lake kind of vibe to it, but it also had kind of that institutional vibe to it too, which I thought was kind of interesting. So yeah, so this one does not take place at Crystal Lake, which is I think one of the reasons some people don't like this one. Same with Manhattan and space, but I can't say anything. I'm in space right now, so yeah.
Um, as he rolled in, we start seeing some of the other people in the facility, and there's a mixture of a lot of there, there's a lot of people at the facility. Uh,
Yeah.
and they all look pretty straight out of Central Casting. They didn't really look at all like. That's the only thing I did notice. They didn't look like they had any problems at all. Like Tommy, when you saw him, you knew he was wrecked. But as you walked in there and saw everybody else in the facility, they looked just as normal as you and I do.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It would have been sort of interesting if they could have made some of them look with that haunted look, like they could relate to what Tommy was going through, but they really didn't do that. It was just
They were mostly just kind of sort of hip kids, like yeah. I mean, except for the stuttering guy who was kind of dorky. But that was about it. Everybody else was kind of just they were weird, but they weren't like it wasn't a typical halfway house type of deal.
And then we start seeing the facility. We start meeting the staff. Tommy gets out of the ambulance. He looks around. He's seeing everybody in there. We got the goth girl. We have we see some guy out there chopping wood. We see a lot of we meet the doctor. And then we meet the facility, his aide Pam. And so they all come on in, and we get to meet all the characters, and then something happens right after Tommy gets there. The police roll up.
Yep.
With their sirens on.
Yep. So we're like, what the hell's going on? Let me see where.
What did you think when when they rolled up like that?
It was like, oh no, what's happening now, kind of thing. But it ended up being two of the kids from the halfway house screwing their heads off that's what they say, screwing their heads off at the Hubbard place. So the Hubbard place is kind of like the next house over, I guess, on the land. And then we get to meet the Hubbards. Because right where they're giving the kids back, the Hubbards roll in on this dirty ass looking motorbike, and it's Ethel and Junior. Junior is her son. Junior's this big old fat, like nasty looking dude, and Ethel, of course, is this little bitty Spitfire.
Right.
And she's one of those that's always complaining, and she's not about to let these little bastards on her farm, is what she says.
June saying Mama Hubbard was a real winner.
Yeah, Mama Hubbard. Yep.
They caught the two kids, and that reminded me of part 2. Remember when on part 2 where they were told not to go to the other side, to the Camp Crystal Lake. They're supposed to go to the other place, and they did it anyway, and they got caught. It sort of was a throwback to the second movie. And then we meet these two, and they're just a couple of young struck kids, and but the cops were treating it pretty seriously. They're had the sirens coming on and everything else. It's sort of like, what's going on here? And then we find out it's just the kids, and they're just being silly.
Yep.
And so the cops leave, and and of course, they take Tommy up and to show him his room, and that's where we meet. I believe his name was Reggie.
Yep.
Yep. Xavier Ross. He'd been in a lot of things. He got into a lot of. He was actually a pretty busy actor at that time period too.
Oh yeah, and still is. He actually still shows up and stuff, and he looks the same. He's older, but he looks exactly the same, just a little bit taller, a little bit bigger.
Yeah, he does. He didn't age at all, did he?
No. No, he really didn't. It's pretty funny.
Um, so those two bond over the most unlikely of things. As Tommy's getting inside, he's getting inside his room. All of a sudden, he gets spooked because he keeps imagining Jason. Even when he's wake, even in his waking, he sees he hallucinates seeing Jason Voorhees,
Yep.
and he has to take medication to help suppress those memories. Like he in daylight, wide awake, he's seeing Jason, and he's trying to like close his eyes. He's trying to just not see that vision anymore, and he's taking a bunch of medication for it. And then as he's doing this, there comes this kid comes in there wearing a mask. Not obviously he didn't know, but I mean, could you imagine how traumatized Tommy must have been right off the bat? He's not even there at the facility more than an hour, and all of a sudden he's getting scared shitless already.
Yep.
So I thought that was really cool. I thought how they interacted was cool. And then Tommy went ahead and he showed up his own mask. I thought that was interesting that they allowed him to keep the mask. I mean, I was like, wow, okay, that's different. A little bit of foreboding, that's for sure. And then he shows them off, and he puts one on, and it was actually the first mask they showed in the final chapter was the alien one, and he kept that one. Yeah, I thought that was sort of cool too.
Yeah, that was neat. Yeah, I am surprised they let him keep it. But again, it's it's a nice callback to the previous one for sure.
It was sort of cool was that he sort of turned the tables too. When he showed a little bit of like actually when he put the mask on and he scared Reggie, but it also to me it was almost trying to say he's trying to fight for his humanity. He's trying to sit there and say, listen, I could be, I'm still going to have a good time. I'm still could be normal. I still love making masks. I still like doing this. You can still see it that he still has that he still has feelings, he still has passion for life, even though he's been terribly traumatized. And so he shows it to Reggie, and then when Reggie wants to touch him, he just asks him not to touch his mask, and Reggie respects that.
Yeah.
So then then we start meeting the other kids, and here we go. The movie starts off in earnest.
That's funny. Yeah. So okay. So yeah. So we kind of get introduced to a little bit of everybody. And then we cut to another scene where we meet a couple more people, and it's an outside scene. And this guy named Joey, who's kind of, how can I explain Joey? Joey is Joey's kind of like the fat kid everybody makes fun of at the halfway house. So it's even worse because it's even. So he's kind of like slobby and nasty. Nobody wants to be around him, kind of thing. Joey comes out of the house, and they got a guy named Victor, or sometimes they call him Vic. So they keep switching. So I'm not sure which one he prefers. But anyway, he's like this like almost kind of like a biker looking dude, but he's chopping wood. So he's got an axe in his hand. Okay, so he's just chopping and chopping and chopping. Now you're gonna give these people weapons?
Yeah, that's
the first number one
too.
Like what the hell?
Yeah. But then again, when you rolled in, you can see how it was just minimum. There was like almost no security, because we already established that because with the two that ran away to the next door and was fooling around on the Hubbard's property, and then here we go back here, and at first you weren't necessarily sure if he was a part of staff or not, because that's the first thing I thought when I saw him hacking. I thought that's a staff member, because who's going to give patient an axe?
Right.
Well, little did I know.
Me too. I was like, okay, sure. So, let's see. What part do we go to first? Let's see.
Mr. Bond says Vic doesn't like candy bars.
No, Vic does not like candy bars, which we're going to get to right now. Okay, so Joey goes over and he tries to help the girls who are putting up like the bed sheets. They're like hanging up the sheets, and they're like, just go away, Joey. You know, blah blah blah. Just let us be. He makes a mess. He gets chocolate on the clean towels and stuff, and yeah, it's real bad. So then he goes up to Vic, who's still chopping the wood. He's just going to town over there in the corner, and he offers Vic a candy bar, and Vic tries to blow him off. He's like go away, yeah, and he's boom boom boom, and just Joey just keeps pestering the crap out of him. So as Joey's walking away, Vic takes the axe that he's chopping the wood with and gets Joey right in the back. Boom. So
Yeah, that was surprising.
yeah, I mean it kind of came out of nowhere. I mean you could tell Vic was not all there, I guess. You know,
Right.
like he was in another zone for sure. Um but yeah, so now we have a dead teenager on the premises. So of course they have to call the paramedics and the cops and all that. And so yeah, the cops show up, two paramedics show up, and yeah. So do you want to talk about their response to seeing Joey?
Yeah, yeah. It was a little bit different, you know. The two paramedics go up in the ambulance. They got Tommy with a blanket over him, and he's just it's a blanket. The sheet is just covered with blood. It's um, Vic wasn't just happy with a couple of whacks. He was making like Lizzie Borden, and he gave him two whacks and 40 more. So they get to the facility, and the two paramedics come out and they look. You know, they go to look to see that he's dead, and yeah, he's dead. He got his arm chopped off, and so massive trauma. And you know, everybody's like sickened by it. And one paramedic is really callous, and he goes, you know, a bunch of pussies. You know, like they haven't seen death before. And then the other paramedic, the older one of the two, he looks and he looks at the body, and he see compassion on his face. You know, he says, "Wow, this is really messed up." You know, and this is not right. And you know, he feels bad. You know, he feels bad. The young guy lost his life, so you know he's there with compassion, and so they load up the body, and they go away, and you know, and the police go ahead and take they take old Vic off for back to the funny farm or wherever he's going to go, and they leave. And yeah, it was really shocking because it was like you're just like, this is so needless. It shouldn't have happened. And it's like you just weren't expecting it.
Right.
So then they go ahead, they leave with the cops. The cops aren't happy, but they leave with the cops. And then and Tommy's upstairs. And as he's watching this, he's looking out the window, and then he sees Jason. And of course this is like the third time he's seen him, and of course it's nothing but a hallucination. And then yeah, and then we move on. It was like the young boy got killed. He got killed. They caught his murderer, and then we know the table's been set.
Yeah. So we now have 3 kills. None of them have been done by Jason. I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then after the Joey scene, they cut to 2, like, I guess I would call them like greasers.
Yeah, it was hard to guess what they were, right? I mean,
Yeah.
did they? It was like you weren't sure if they were greasers or you weren't sure if they were leather boys.
Yeah, punks or something. I don't know what they were. But anyway, they cut to them stranded on the side of the road with their car, and it's 2 guys, Pete and Vinny. Okay, Pete is is the one that's trying to start the car, and he gets up and he tells Vinny that he needs to go off to relieve himself.
Right.
So Vinny is so Vinny stays, and he's still working on the car, trying to get it to start. And then all of a sudden, someone shows up to, we don't know why or what, but we see another person show up, and they light a road flare. And the road flare then gets shoved into Vinny's mouth. So, so Vinny's done for.
Yeah.
And then Pete returns to the car. Vinny's body's nowhere. Like he was like Vinny, where you at? Blah blah blah. So Pete gets back in the car, tries to start it, still not starting. He's singing a little sing song thing.
Yeah, he didn't pay attention. He walked right by Vinny. He didn't even pay attention to him. He walked straight to the car door. If you actually would have looked at him, he would have saw that something was wrong. But he just walked on by. He was draped over the. Yeah. The only problem I had with that scene though was there's two things that bothered me with that scene. I mean, it was clever. It was well done, but it was sort of like one thing. A road flare is going to burn. You can't put it. It's hard to put out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think necessarily putting it in his mouth would have put it out. He would have burned.
Yeah.
He probably would have came out through the back of his neck, and he probably would have been on fire. That was just my theory about that. And two, how did because they didn't establish where these two guys were at. It wasn't like they were coming from the facility or on the facility. So how did this guy know where they were at? It was just like it was so out of sequence, so random. It was a little hard to get into. It was sort of hard to buy.
It seems like they just added this scene just to add it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, there's no real purpose behind it except to show two kills.
Exactly.
So I guess speaking of that, yeah. So Vinny's, is it Vinny? No wait. Yeah. No, Pete. Pete's in the car trying to turn it, and he gets slashed in the throat because the person behind him has a nice machete and has now done. So that's two more kills right there. And then Tommy has another episode back at the house where he sees Jason in a mirror. All right. Then we immediately cut to like a community breakfast scene with all the people at the halfway house. They're all going to come and eat breakfast. Okay. And so this is where we meet people like Violet and stuff, and a couple other people. Violet is kind of like this like new wave punk looking chick with multicolored hair. She's real funky, and let's see. And so at this point, the character Eddie is not downstairs yet. So they asked Tommy to go get Eddie to tell him to come down for breakfast. So as Tommy leaves the room, Eddie jumps in with one of Tommy's masks on.
Right.
And I was like, "Oh, you were effing with the wrong person here, man."
Yep.
So Tommy pulls a John Cena and does an attitude adjustment onto the nearby table.
He did it. Yeah, it was a total. I saw that too.
Now, fun fact about this scene, I'm pretty sure this scene at least, if you look in the credits, some of the stunt work was done by Gene LaBelle, who was a professional wrestler. I'm betting anything that was him doing the attitude adjustment in this scene.
It was.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
It was really well done.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it was like legit. Like, yeah, it was good. So what did you think about Eddie wearing one of Tommy's masks? That was,
I was a little bit surprised that he would. Yeah, I was a little surprised. It's like, wow, he just felt that comfortable to walk inside someone else's room and take their property like that. It's like, okay, maybe we know what his problem is. Maybe he has sticky fingers, because it's something I wouldn't do. or at all. It's like you would think that a room is boundaries, and obviously not, because he felt pretty fearless to go ahead and go and grab the mask and I don't think he intended to scare Tommy. I don't think he knew about his background necessarily, but he he was starting to be funny, and it was just the wrong thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
we do meet somebody else too at the table. We find out that Reggie, his grandfather, works there, and so
Yeah.
Reggie is not a part of the facility. He's the grandson of the cook.
Right. Correct. Correct. Let's see. All right. So after the little scuffle, I guess you could call it, we cut back to Ethel. No, yeah, we cut back to Ethel's house, and we have a seemingly random guy walk up and kind of offers to be her like farmhand, handyman kind of deal.
Right.
And let's see.
He sort of looked like Kaniki from Greece.
Yeah, kind of, except like an older, uglier version. Yeah. So we're like, okay, that seems random because that's like the only scene, right? Okay, then it cuts to something else. Then it cuts to the cops and the paramedics picking up the greasers that just died last night.
Right.
And so it's the same two paramedics and the same like two cops. And let's see. All right, and then we cut to another random. Oh, there's the cheetah. The cheetah has made an appearance.
That's right. The cheetah is here.
Cheetah's our third right there. Cheetah's
He is our third.
Yep.
God help us all. He's our third. He's our third. He's the third man.
Yeah. Take that, Orson Welles. No. Okay. All right. So next we cut to another scene with a guy named Billy. Now Billy is the guy that dropped off Tommy in the beginning that was looking at the porno mags.
Right.
That's Billy. So Billy drives up to like this diner gas station type of place, and to pick up his lady friend Lana. And yeah, so he's real obnoxious. He's doing donuts and all kind of stupid stuff.
Right.
So she comes out and she was like, "Well, I have to get ready." Blah blah blah. So she goes back in to get ready. She's putting up on her lipstick and all this other brouhaha. And when she comes out of the bathroom, we get a cat jump scare.
Just like we did now.
Like that. Yeah, pretty similar to that, except it was a little louder.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly. So so Billy's still waiting in his car, okay? And so he kind of gets out of the car, and he suddenly gets an axe right on top of the head, right into his nice big bald spot. Boom. I mean, Jason aimed just perfectly. Boom.
Right.
And so again, the body seems to be gone because Lana walks out and she doesn't see anything. Like nothing, no blood, no body, no nothing. So she gets into the car thinking that Billy's just kind of screwing around, messing with her. And then she gets an axe to the stomach.
But when she's looking for him, right? But she's looking for him, and then she knows that when he got killed, he dumped all his coke and all his mirror and his razor. They're all on the driver's side on the floor, and she bent down and was sniffing the coke off the ground.
Yeah, I forgot about you. Yeah.
There's a cute little scene in there while she's getting ready, and I do believe this is our first incident of nudity in this movie. She takes off her top to change out, and she opens it up to reveal her breasts, and she goes, "It's showtime." And the reason why she did that was because she was in a movie called All That Jazz which was the story of Bob Fosse, played by Roy Scheider.
Oh, I didn't know she
And
was okay.
right, and in the movie, that was the big line. It's showtime. So she went up to the director and she said because she was in all that jazz, she suggested that she do that. And he says, okay, you can go ahead and do that. It'd be fun. So that's
Yeah.
what happened when she did that. She bared her breasts. And Showtime was a homage to all that jazz.
Yep. Now, Vanessa just brought up an interesting point that Jason's mom was the cook at Crystal Lake, and so is Reggie's grandpa. Well,
Yeah,
it's not Crystal Lake, but at the halfway house.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think of it. I didn't think of it that way.
No,
Yeah.
yeah. That's interesting. I think if I want to bring up that point at the end because I have a theory about that. Um, so yeah, so those two, yeah, you're right. She gets killed by the axe, and they're just left there. Um, when they did that scene, they had to they had made a model of the guy, and then right before they were going to film it, they realized that they covered his head all with hair, and he's bald. So they had to go back and take that bald. They had him create the bald spot, and then the gentleman who played Tom, who played Jason, he was the one that threw the axe down, and they said that even though he's a hardcore stunt man, he said that was a really hard scene for him to do because I mean he's hitting the guy dead on the head, and it just felt really real for him, too uncomfortably real, and he got nauseated.
Yeah. Yeah, because when you're doing stunts, you're usually doing near misses and stuff, or doing it
Right.
real light, or yeah. I think I saw that same interview, and he was like, "Yeah, it was weird doing it like full force on this thing that looks like a head," So yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. So all right, so after all of this craziness, we cut back to Tommy, and he's looking out the window, and he sees Tina and Eddie. Now, Tina and Eddie are the two that were brought in by the cops earlier on. So they're the two like slutty teenagers that keep running off to have sex, right?
Right.
And he sees them running off, and then he kind of looks away and he looks back out, and then he sees Jason standing there, full hockey mask, the whole deal.
Yeah.
And he closes his eyes real tight, and he reopens them, and Jason's gone. So
This is
he's
like the
still
fourth.
he's still hallucinating
Yeah, this is
about
like the
Jason.
fourth time he's seen Jason by this point.
Yeah, yeah. And then we cut to a weird scene that again I don't know if this meant to stay in the movie, but we cut to the sheriff's office and the mayor
Yeah.
complaining to the sheriff, and the sheriff suddenly busts out because now there are four bodies now that they know of. Okay, and so the sheriff says the killer is Jason Voorhees. So what? Number one, what would make him think this? I don't understand how he would jump to this conclusion this quickly.
No, yeah.
That makes
And
no sense at
no,
all.
not at all. It'd been at least 7 years, seven
Yeah,
years, or at least since Jason Voorhees had died.
yeah, and they
So,
all know Jason's dead. Like
right.
everyone knows Jason's dead. Like it was front page news. Everybody knows about all the Crystal Lake stuff.
Yeah.
All of it. So it's just bizarre. It's a bizarre scene, and I don't get why it's in this movie.
Yeah, I couldn't understand that either. I mean, it was like it seemed. It also just seemed just laziness almost. And extra chance to add some authority figures to it, and then it was just absolutely, yeah, it didn't make sense at all. It was probably the movie's first misstep, as far as I concerned, as far as the writing went.
Yeah, like full on. Like you could just cut this crap out right now.
Right. Right.
Yeah, no sense at all. All right, so then we see Tina and Eddie run off to have a good time. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
So they're in the they're in the woods. They brought a blanket, the whole deal. They're setting up to They
On
have
the
some fun
Hubbard's property again. On the Hubbard's property.
on the Hubbard's property because apparently the Hubbard's property is nice enough to
Yeah.
do all this. So
Aphrodisiac, maybe.
yeah, yeah. So then we see that someone's watching from the brush, and it's the handyman. It's Ethel's handyman who's sitting there watching him, and his name is Raymond. I found out. I don't think they ever say it in the movie, but I found out his name is Raymond.
I was just calling him Kaniki.
There you go. So he watches Tina and Eddie. They start smoking some pot, and then we see Raymond just kind of peeking in, and Raymond kind of just turns and gets it in the stomach.
Yeah.
Boom. Super quick. I mean, bam.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, a lot of these kills, I mean, were like that. And I mean, if you think about it, I mean, they don't make any noise either. That's the thing that
yeah,
it's
no
like
screaming.
no scream. I mean, I'm sorry, but someone putting a flare in your mouth, and no fight either. It's like someone comes at me and they put a flare near my head coming at me.
Yeah,
I'm either I'm going to be able to try to take you, or I'm turn around and running my ass off. Nothing. I mean, this guy, as soon as he opens his mouth, he puts it in there. You would be screaming like there's no tomorrow, and yet nothing. And it's sort of just again, it's like the guy getting hit in the head. Look, it wasn't like he didn't see him. He did see him. He could have at least made an attempt to yell. Getting stabbed in the stomach, it's very painful, which means you would be screaming. You wouldn't just be sitting there like dying like a 1950s cowboy, okay. You would be screaming your head off. But yeah, you don't see that. Joey, you think that Joey would have been screaming his head off, but not really.
Well, yeah, because he got it in the back. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, you would think he would have. Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, maybe they are in shock. I don't know. Maybe
everybody.
Yeah, maybe I don't know. All right, so after Raymond gets it, Eddie and Tina apparently had some fun, and Eddie goes off to go relieve himself. So this is the second person relieving themselves in this movie, by the way. And
They had a long shot of the nudity. I mean, this is like
this
is really
this scene's very long. Yeah, this scene's very long. Tina is completely naked. She lays down on the blanket, and so she's laying there just having just relaxing after her nice time. And all of a sudden, we have a couple of hedge trimmers show up in the middle of the air like this and get not thrown, but shoved down into her eyeballs.
Right.
And probably, I would say probably the most brutal kill of this whole movie.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Now this one, of course you don't see it go in, but you definitely hear it. You definitely hear that pushiness. And so Eddie comes back, and at first he just sees Tina lying over on the side. So he said, "Hey babe, what you doing?" And he kind of moves her over, and that's when you see the eyes all chopped out basically from these heads. And he's like, "Oh crap!" So he jumps up and he backs up into a tree, and all of a sudden this like leather strap flies around the tree, holds him like by the he holds him by the eyes, right? I think it was over the eyes.
Yeah, over the eyes.
There's a lot of eye stuff in this movie.
This was a very. I'll give you one thing too. This was a very inventive kill.
Yeah. So the leather's around his eyes and around the tree. So it's like holding him back like this. And then Jason takes a piece of tree, ties it up into the leather strap, and starts twisting. So it keeps getting tighter and tighter and tighter until it like just just completely crushes his skull.
Yeah, it was brutal. I mean, it was
Yeah,
offensive though,
it,
and
it was.
and it sort of
Now,
establishes it did. It wasn't Jason, but at the same time, you're thinking, he could be Jason in a sense because he's exhibiting some powerful. He's strong.
yeah, I'm about to say this
He's
guy.
strong.
This guy has to be like a freaking Schwarzenegger or something. Like, because I mean, yeah, that's got to be tough to do. I was thinking that too. I was like, damn, that's crazy. Larry says it best: "Don't pee in the woods."
Don't be in the woods alone.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, yeah. So yeah, that was definitely something. This is probably the most famous scene of the movie, I would say. Um, like this is kind of the scene everybody talks about. At least in my eyes, this is the scene that really stands out. Like
Right.
this whole thing with her with the eyes and the whole deal. Um, yeah, there's actually a movie called that, minus the either part. But yeah, there is, right.
You're right, Vanessa. Well, they were doomed anyway. As soon as they showed the doobie, and then they were going to have sex, it's like, oh yeah, you guys are so dead. Uh, you know. But then Kaneki got it because he was creeping behind. He was creeping and doing the peeping Tom. So you knew he was going to buy the farm.
Yeah, yeah. Let's see. I'm trying to catch up on the chat here. Make sure I didn't miss anything too crazy. Let's see.
There's credit for 2 Jasons, but we'll come up to that for sure.
Yeah.
Let's see.
We're
They're
gonna get
saying
to
that Joey's death was the most brutal. I don't know, and that guy getting his eyes. I mean, because I guess Joey. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think the guy with the eyes. I mean, he's always so good at the character names. I think he died horribly because that took a long time to do.
Yeah. Or like my mom says, just don't go in the woods at all.
No, not at all.
Yeah. Don't do anything in the woods unless you're a bear. There you
Right. And even then, if you're a rabbit, don't be by a bear.
go. Yeah. All right. I think we're caught up. I think we're caught up on most of the stuff here. All right. So so after this scene, we cut back to the halfway house. And so now we really get to meet Pam, who is the assistant director of this whole operation.
Yeah, we really haven't met her yet too much at this point.
Yeah, we see her, we're kind of introduced to her, but we don't really know too much about her. So Pam decides to take Reggie to see his brother, Demon, and she invites Tommy to come along with them. So at first Tommy's like, yeah, whatever, and they're like, oh, come on, blah blah blah. So Tommy ends up going with them to go see Reggie's brother. So they go to Reggie's brother, who apparently lives in a van down by the river.
Nice.
And he so Demon, which is his name, he's kind of like this cool, kind of this cool cat, leather jacket, the whole thing, and he's played by Miguel Nunez Jr., who if you know is in Return of the Living Dead, who was like the best freaking character in Return of the Living Dead, by the way.
Yeah, he's definitely the best.
So he's just a really cool guy, right? And so they meet him, and with him is his girlfriend Anita, who's just sitting there smoking pot. She don't care. She's just chilling. She's just chilling. And
Reggie's got the googly eyes over her though.
Yeah. Reggie's like, hey, how you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now remember, Reggie's like what, like 13, 14 or something.
Yeah, probably about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to say probably about 13, 14.
Well, he's old enough to be throwing down some Mac.
Oh yeah, oh for sure. He was like, hey, And so anyway, so Demon gives Reggie one of his rings as kind of like a little present, right? And so Tommy's hanging out outside of the van. He's just kind of hanging out, minding his own business. And then all of a sudden, Junior Hubbard, that's the crazy son of Ethel, he shows up and he starts antagonizing Tommy.
Bad move.
So Tommy's like, "Oh, really?" So Tommy just grabs him and just starts beating the shit out of
him. Yeah.
Don't mess with Tommy.
Was not to mess with. Tommy was he was a good.
Mess with Tommy. Yeah. Do not mess with Tommy in this movie. He will beat the crap out of you. And so so Junior leaves. And let's see. Okay, I wrote that. And then we kind of don't see Tommy anymore at this point, but we cut back to Demon, and Demon apparently has been eating a bunch of enchiladas, and so all of a sudden he's like, "Oh, these damn enchiladas!" And so he has to go run to the outhouse that's like across the street.
Right.
So he runs to the outhouse. Okay. Then Anita, his girlfriend, walks over and kind of starts teasing him and starts shaking the outhouse. He's like, "What the hell's going on?"
Yeah.
Which I thought was kind of funny, actually.
I did too.
After that little tease, Anita and Demon. Now remember, Demon is still inside the outhouse taking a dump. Okay. So they start kind of singing to each other through the door. Okay, real romantic, right? At the outhouse singing.
Yeah. I'm taking a shit. I had diarrhea, but I'm going to be singing some.
Yeah,
it's I'm going to be doing some Curtis Mayfield for you.
Yeah, it was really. But you know what? They pulled it off. It worked. It worked. I don't know why, but they made it work.
They did.
So all of a sudden, yeah.
Larry says, "Should put some hot sauce on it." Yeah, I guess his anus was burning.
Yep. Those damn enchiladas, and he runs. Yeah, it's really funny. So they're singing, and then all of a sudden the singing stops, and you hear a thump. And so Demon's like, "Baby, what's going on? Why you stop singing?" So Demon cracks open the door to see what's going on, and he sees Anita laying there with her throat slit.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah. So
and the killer and Jason was clever at how he killed her is that he left her body in front of the door so he couldn't come out. He couldn't. So he'd have to use a whole lot of force to and Demon's not a big dude. He's skinny. He's skinny little dude. And so the outhouse starts to shake again, and Demon's like freaking out. He's holding the thing, and then all of a sudden he gets a spike through the chest. Like it comes through the outhouse, the back of the outhouse, through Demon, and goes like all the way out, like fully spiked. And so that's like, damn, Yeah, that was a hard one. And again, he goes through, and again, it's like there's nothing. There's no. It's like watching the '50s Western. They get shot by an arrow, but nobody's saying nothing. And he almost dodged the first time. The first one, it grazed his leg, and then he said, that's when he tore his pants and everything, and then he was trying to get away. And then I don't know why he was sitting with his back against the wall. I couldn't understand that part. It's like, to me, it's like you want to try to stay on your feet and keep watching for, and try to dodge it. And then if you can get it, don't let it go back out. Like if he comes through, grab it. So he can't, or at least try to bend it so he can't, it makes it harder for him. He's gonna have to earn his money. Basically, if he wants to take him out, you're gonna have to earn it. But
Yep.
As soon as he got scraped on the leg, he sat down on the toilet, and he was his dead meat right there.
Yeah, and then Gore brings up a good point. That is quite unfortunate.
Yeah. 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 He didn't. Yeah, he didn't wipe his ass. You're
No,
right.
no,
No, he got
no.
up. He pulled his pants up when he quit hearing the singing, and yeah, I mean, so he died. He died with shit in his pants.
Yep.
Those
Poor
damn
guy.
enchiladas. Those damn enchiladas.
So all right. So now Pam and Reggie get back to Pinehurst. She drives them back. And there are some people missing when they show up, and so uh, she leaves a guy named Jake in charge. Jake is kind of like the nerdy guy, and he has a bad stuttering problem, which I identified with because when I was little, I also had a stuttering problem. I still do, but it's much less than it was when I was a kid. So I actually felt for Jake a little bit on a personal level.
Sure.
um, but okay, let's see. So yeah, so Jake is left in charge while Pam goes to look for the missing people. Um, now we cut to Junior. Yeah, there's a lot of
Hold
cuts.
on right there. Because speaking of all this bathroom, I got to take a bath.
There you go. The demon has inspired the cheetah.
Damn,
There you
demon.
go. Yeah. So what do you guys think up until this point? Like, what are you guys thinking? Are you liking this Jason? Are you or you think he's kind of weird and a little off? Just a thought to throw out there. Don't spoil anything for the people who haven't seen it. Let's see. Let me get back to the chat here. All right. Star Lord. Let's see. If a tree falls in the woods, does it make a sound? Jason makes sure. Yeah, you're right. Jason would make sure it would. You're right. Jason would have to retire. Let's see. You get same kick out of killing bears. Yeah, I would think killing bears and killing people are two different types of feelings. I would imagine. But yeah, the enchilada part is still one of my favorites. Um, it's probably the funniest. It's the funniest part of this movie for sure. And I agree. The ooh baby thing between the two of them singing was just great, man. I dug it, and they were both good. They were both good singers too. Let's see. TP to deliver to 10 Outhouse once a month. Hey, go
Well,
go.
all I gotta say, if this happens to me, I'm gonna at least before with my last breath, I'm gonna wipe my ass. So,
Yep.
okay.
You don't want to be found like Demon. That's right.
Yeah, a little prop from your boys from here in the Midnight Society.
Boom. All right. So Star Lord is liking this. I asked them if they were liking this Jason or what. What's going on?
I think
June
they're
says,
really digging it.
June says he's too thin. And you know what? I actually have to agree. Like Jason lost a lot of weight for this movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll talk about that for sure. For sure. Yeah. We talked about that before the show went on, and we'll talk about it for sure afterwards because that is something.
But okay, so Vanessa brings up a good point here too. You really don't see Jason that much in this one. Not really.
No, not a lot of cutaways too. You
A
know, for
lot
the
of
kill,
cuts.
for the kills, for as many as they have, they're not very graphic. You know, we see a lot of like this, and then they do the cutaway. You know, it was like it's all. I mean, they were more open with the nudity than they were with the kills.
Yeah. Yeah. The guy in part 2 was kind of skinny too, huh? Yeah. I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't know. This
Warren
guy
Gillette,
seems skinnier.
Warrington Gillette. Yeah,
Yeah. True. I forgot he was kind of skinny in 2. Yeah. I forgot about that. All right. Let's see where we're at. Okay. So now so Pam leaves to go check on to see where all the other kids are. So Junior goes back home to Ethel. He's all beat up from Tommy.
yep.
And he's riding around and he's causing a ruckus. He's making all kind of noise. He's doing donuts, freaking out, right? And then all of a sudden, Junior gets beheaded with it. What looked like to me was a meat cleaver. It was very quick, but it was like boom, and just boom, his head comes completely clean off.
Right.
So I mean, yeah, you got the speed of the motorcycle and whatnot, and then the power, I guess,
I,
of Jason.
I was actually expecting him to have a wire, like a garrote, because
Right.
if you're a person, and if you hit somebody like that, he would have broke his shoulder. He would have broke his collarbone. He would have, at the very least, he would have dislocated his arm. There's no way you're going to swing a cleaver against someone moving that fast, because and even then, it's just like, it was sort of like, okay, you're pushing it now. As far as that goes, as far as that kill goes, you're pushing it, because it's like there's just no way, even a guy Jason's size, is going to be able to stand there and do that without getting seriously fucked up in return. I
Yeah.
mean, if he would have set a garrote there, or like a piano wire, or some sort of, anything like that, that would have been more. It would have been more believable. This was the least believable kill of the movie for me. This is the
Yeah.
only one. This is the only one that I had trouble with.
Huh, apparently, the actor that plays Junior is in 13 Fanboy, and
Oh, okay.
and he's skinny now. Interesting.
All right.
That's cool. Yeah. Jason is the ultimate power walker. Like, yeah, like you're not going to beat him in a power walking contest.
No, power walk, Jason.
No. Yep. Number one.
He would outwalk Michael Myers. He'd walk Michael Myers down. You think you're fast?
I think so.
Hold my axe.
hold this machete.
Yeah. Hold my.
There you go. So then we cut to Ethel making a stew.
Mm-hmm. And thank God we don't see what's really in the stew. I really didn't. I'm really glad to know that.
Yeah. I'm glad there was no close up. She just keeps making that stew, and she keeps yelling out to Junior to stop making the ruckus. So of course Junior stops because he's now dead.
Yeah, he's dead.
So Ethel's just like, he finally shut up, kind of thing. And Ethel's this little spitfire. She's cursing every other word, the whole thing. She's actually a freaking hilarious character. I actually loved Ethel. I thought Ethel was great.
Yeah, she was funny as hell.
And so she's just making her stew, and then literally out of nowhere, the meat, I assume it's the same meat cleaver that got Junior.
Yeah.
Flies through the kitchen window and gets Ethel right in the face. I mean, and it happens in like a millisecond. It's like boom. And so poor Ethel's gone.
Yep.
So So I'm not going to tell you what number this is yet, but if you've noticed, everybody's dying in like twos.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's very quick. It's very quick in succession too. It's really like boom, boom, like twos and threes.
Yeah. You picked up on that too.
I did. Which is a little different than before. So anyway, so now we cut back to Pam, and her truck that she's driving conks out.
Right.
So I guess it's sort of like, I guess the greasers in the beginning were kind of foreshadowing this. Maybe, I don't know. That's just a thought. Maybe, I don't know. So anyway, so that conks out, and so she gets out and starts walking. So now we cut back to the halfway house, where Robin and Jake are sitting there watching a movie. Now, the movie that they're watching was pretty interesting. They're watching A Place in the Sun, which, if you don't know, A Place in the Sun has a character that drowns in the lake. So if you know about Jason drowned in the lake.
Right.
So it's a nice little tie-in to the series, I thought.
I thought that, and also when they rolled the final credits, we found out that it was a Paramount picture as well.
Yes, which is of course we're in the Paramount years of the Friday the 13th saga right now. So far, all of them have been put out by Paramount. Well, that stays until number 9, but we'll get to that later. Let's see. So they're watching A Place in the Sun. Jake, the stuttering nerd, kind of makes a move on to Robin. Robin just kind of laughs it off, and so of course that upsets Jake, and Jake runs off.
Right.
Now we cut to guess what's happening again? It's pouring down, raining.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, starts raining. Yes.
Starts raining, starts pouring, cats and dogs again.
Yep.
So Jake goes upstairs to go talk to Violet, who's like the new wave punk chick, and she kind of blows him off too, but she's busy doing like a dance routine. She's doing this whole little like like the robot kind of thing.
Yeah, she was really good.
She was, and apparently the actress still gets compliments on this little thing she put together.
She can still do it too.
She can. She demonstrated it, and yeah. So that was kind of cool. So Jake leaves her room in the hallway, and all of a sudden Jake gets an axe. Jake gets a cleaver to the head, boom, right in the middle. So meat cleaver again. So this is at least the third meat cleaver that I know of, that I remember at least. And yeah, so that happens. Nobody hears it apparently.
Nobody hears it.
Nobody hears it. Of course, Violet's playing loud music, so yeah, she's not going to hear it. But nobody downstairs hears it either. This is upstairs,
right,
of the halfway house. So yeah, so I thought that was interesting that nobody heard this. I mean, granted, yeah, he didn't yell or nothing either, but you know, I guess the cleaver went right into his brain, so I can see him not yelling.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, at least this one makes a little sense. So then we cut to we cut back to downstairs, and Reggie is asleep on the sofa. So Robin gets up, and she tries to wake him up, and he's just like whatever. So she just puts the covers on him, leaves him on the sofa. So Robin now goes upstairs to bed, and let's see. Yeah, she goes upstairs to bed. She hops.
I think this is one of the scenes where the director he traded in for. You know, cut gore, because now we see our third nude scene, and this one was really, I was really shocked at it myself. I'll be honestly, for an R-rated movie, I was really surprised. I was like, okay, we saw the first girl, she bared her, you know, she showed her nudity, and we saw the other girl in the woods, and you know, she's on her back, and yeah, we could definitely see she was, you know, but this one, because you know, this one was a little bit risque, really risque, because you're right. She gets up, she goes to bed, she lays down the bed, and the first thing you notice is she takes off her top, so she's in bed, she's topless. You could not help, and I'm not being crude or rude or anything, but because it was right there, but you could not help that they showed her nipples were I mean, it was like, I was like, wait a minute, you telling me that they let her to sit in there like that? It was like, okay, I understand if it was cold, but why not put the blanket up, like show her a little bit of her breast, and she puts the blanket over them? But they did right there, and they are sticking straight up like a fuck. I was like, okay, you know that he traded for that.
Yeah, and it was completely gratuitous. Like there was absolutely no point to it at all.
No,
except to see another girl naked. Like that's literally the whole point of this scene.
The other two scenes make sense because it fit into the storyline. You know, like she's changing out from her waitress uniform to going out clothes. The other ones are because they're going out and they're having sex. I mean, that makes sense. But for her just to get a hick off and then lay there and then flat on her back, and it was just like, okay, you know.
yeah. It was a bit much. Yeah. So anyway, so she's all nice and topless, and then she hops up into the top bunk because apparently that's where she sleeps. So number one, yes, she sleeps naked in this halfway house with all these guys.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. So she hops up into the bed, and she at first she's just laying there, and then she rolls over to her left side, and she sees Jake's dead body laying in there.
Yeah.
Now, okay. Number one, bunk beds are not big.
Yeah, yeah,
She would have noticed if he was up in there. I'm just saying.
yeah,
Number
yeah.
one.
Yeah, she definitely would have noticed that. It wasn't like a king size bunk bed, just like
No.
a single bunk bed, and yet
Yeah.
she's, yeah,
So anyway, Jason grabs her by the head and gets her from underneath, because remember she's on the top bunk, and underneath with the machete.
right.
So again, this is yet another Kevin Bacon like kill in these movies. I think
Yeah,
they've done it in did they do it in 4?
yeah. They did. This is the third one.
Yeah, I think this. Yeah, I don't think they did it in 4, but they did it in 1, 2,
Three.
3, and then this one. I think. Yeah. So yeah, it's
Oh,
definitely
no,
a
no, no, no. The kid who's walking on his hands. That was in part 4, wasn't it?
that was. Yeah, I don't remember. No, that was 3.
3. Okay, that's where it happened. 3.
Yeah,
So
that was 3.
1, 3, and 5.
Yeah. So I thought, yeah, interesting. Interesting that it's the same type of kill. So let's see. So we cut back to Violet, who's dancing in her room. You know, she's popping and doing all kind of stuff. And then Jason enters her room. Okay,
Yep.
and she just kind of sees something happen, and she just kind of looks over, and then he's gone. Like you don't see him.
She must have had a little bathroom. That's the only thing I could figure is that
Something.
she had
Yeah.
to be a bathroom because her room was just too small. If she turned around, she would have saw him.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he must have had a little bathroom built in, or maybe not a closet. It would have been too small. It was like almost like a little.
Some
I
kind of
don't know,
alcove.
maybe just a washroom, maybe just a, because he was there, and then he steps to the side, takes a step to the right,
Yeah.
and then and then and then she turns around, and then doesn't see anything, doesn't hear anything, and then he steps back in to the left, and then walks forward.
Yeah, and then he grabs her by the throat, lifts her up off of her feet, and then like
Yeah,
machete her as well. So okay, so my one of my questions here is that Jason keeps switching weapons. It
yeah, I
seems like
saw.
every kill. It seems.
Yeah, it was not consistent.
No, it was meat cleaver, machete, meat cleaver, machete. It was like, okay, pick one. Like, pick one, dude. Come on, come on, Jason, get your shit together. All right, let's see. We're way behind in the chat. Let's see what's happening here.
Oh, let's see. Big Daddy J roll it in the chat. He's talking about the robot dance, which is a classic. Keith is sitting there, says initially back then I think that this point was due to Roy, but over the years things can change. And then Keith mentioned it's
Maybe.
reviewed very kindly now by most, and I can understand that too because I asked, we were talking about this before we went on. Our shows, we do a little pre-show to talk about it, and one of the things I said was I couldn't understand why this movie got any hate at all. I thought it was very effective. The pacing was really quick.
Very quick.
Considering for a large cast, everybody got their own screen time in. This is not a small cast. This was a lot of people, and the director had mentioned that the rule of thumb was every 8 minutes there had to be a kill.
Yeah,
that was the thing. He had to have somebody die in every 8 minutes, was probably a reason why he had so many people die together. And you pointed that out. There was a lot of people that were dying, couples that were dying, 2 here, 2 there, 2 here. So, yeah, the pace was really fast, and it fit. It didn't feel rushed at all either. You didn't feel like the movie was really rushed. Like the first movie,
no.
everybody got killed in the last 30 minutes, last 25 minutes, and it felt really rushed for that point. Here, they pretty much did it from the go all the way through the movie, and it really helped it as far as I was concerned.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, thank you, appreciate that. Let's see. Wait, Cal brought something interesting up. Let's see. So we're not going to mention she spit in her son's stew, or is that acceptable? Yeah, Ethel was a piece of work, man. You know, Ethel, yeah, Ethel was a nasty, dirty old lady, little bitty thing. You know, little spitfire. I think everybody kind of knows one of those in real life. At least I do. Let's see. All right, yeah. Well, go away, calendar. All right, let's see. Oh yeah, this one definitely has some highlights for sure. I actually like this one a lot. This one's pretty good, man. Hey, Dead Michael, what's going on, buddy? Let's see. Damn right. Let's see. Let the boys. All right. I would love to have seen this in the theater. That would I think that would have been fun, man.
Yeah,
Everybody jumping and screaming and hollering. Yeah, those were the days, man.
yeah. I saw,
It's not like that anymore.
I saw all the.
It's all freaking cell phones and freaking lights from the cell phones. You don't see shit anymore. It's ridiculous.
No, no, yeah. Going to the theater these days is. The thing is, the trick of it is there's two tricks. One, um, you go on the weekday and you go to the first showing because no one's there. They're all in the school or they're all everybody's at work. You go the first, or two, you go after like the third or fourth week, and then everybody's already seen it, and then you go and watch it if you want to see it at night. But going during the first weekend, yeah, hell no.
Yeah, Gene LaBelle's the real deal, y'all. Yeah, I think he just died too. When he like in his 90s? I don't want to say he was like in his 90s. Tough old guy. Let's see. It's the Infinity War, Friday the 13th. Let's see. Oh yeah, Ethel and Junior were definitely the comic. Well, definitely Ethel for sure. Junior was just a pain in the ass, personally. But all right. Looks like we're pretty much caught up. All right, so let's see what we got now. Sorry, we're so behind on the chat, but yeah, we just get going and we just go. All right, so let's see. All right, so okay, so Violet, yeah, so Violet just got whacked. So Reggie now wakes up from downstairs and he goes and finds the four dead bodies of the kids that all just got killed. Robin, Jake, Violet. They're all stacked up, and they're all stacked up in Tommy's room.
Yeah.
Which I thought was interesting. Okay, so we know Tommy has I wouldn't say he has a temper, but he doesn't take any shit from anybody.
No, I couldn't understand that either. It would have made more sense, honestly, because they're trying to point the thumb at Tommy. They're trying to point it out at Tommy.
Yeah.
It would have worked better if they had established that the two, the Jason, the Roy, if it had been him and his partner had transported Tommy to the facility, it would have made more sense. Because it's like, okay, I know who I'm transporting. I can put the blame toward him, so that's what I'll do. And because the person who dropped it, he had no idea who Tommy was or his reputation. He was just he didn't know anything about it. And next thing you know, here he is. He's dropping everybody in Tommy's room. Why didn't he drop it in anybody? He could have dropped it in Vic's room, or even Vic wasn't there. Or he could have dropped it off at anybody else's room. He could have dropped it off in Pam's room, for all they cares. But the fact that he tried to put it in Tommy's room to throw suspicion on him, it didn't ring true because he didn't know Tommy.
He didn't, but he knew of Tommy because of something that happens later. We'll get to that. So okay, so Reggie sees all the dead bodies. Pam finally gets back from walking from the broke down truck. So Pam gets back. She sees the dead bodies, and she takes Reggie downstairs.
Right. And they go out. It's raining cats and dogs when they run out the house.
It's raining cats and dogs again. And Jason busts through the door of the halfway house.
Yeah.
Boom! Kind of similar to the last movie where he busts into the Jarvis house. It's a very similar type scene. Just boom, bust on in. And let's see. So Pam and Reggie run out into the woods. Now remember, it's pouring down rain.
Yep.
they eventually run into one of those cars that the hospital uses. You know, like kind of like an ambulance car. It's not an
Yeah.
ambulance, but it's, you know, it has the light on top. You know, kind of deal.
Yeah.
And they open it up and they see Duke, who's the one of the paramedics. Duke's body just kind of falls out.
And you actually think at that point you actually thought at that point when you're watching the movie, you actually thought at that point until you saw him that it was Duke because he was so calloused and hardcore. You know, he didn't care about anybody. You know, like he had zero compassion. He'd been in the job too long, and so he was just hardcore about it. And up to that point, you really did think that it was him. If you're at the theater and you're watching it, you know, because you knew it wasn't going to be Jason. Everybody knew it was going to be Jason. I mean, you know, whether they admitted it or not. But we all thought it was, Duke, and then Duke's dead, and all of a sudden
Right.
it's like, who? Then you go back to like, who is it? Who is it?
Yeah.
Still have no clue at all who the killer is. You still don't.
No. So okay, so Duke's body's falls out. So they run off again, and then they run into another. They run into Matt. Now Matt is the guy that actually runs the halfway house. They run, and Matt is dead. He's tied to a tree.
Yeah.
And his head has like a railroad spike sticking out of it.
Yeah.
So,
It looked like was a railroad spike or nails. It looked like nails.
yeah, I don't. Yeah, it was something like that.
Yeah.
It's a big old nail. Yeah. So so that's another one dead. So let's see. All right. So they decide to run back to the house. So they run inside, and then all of a sudden, the Reggie's grandpa George, his body gets thrown
Through
through
the
the window into the house. So similar to the guy that was looking for his sister in part 4. You know how they threw his body into the it's very similar.
in the first movie too. They tossed his, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, a lot of callbacks to the other movies, which I appreciate.
Yeah, of course.
So Grandpa George is there, and his eyes are poked out too. I noticed that. So this guy has an eye fetish. Whoever this killer is has some kind of weird eye fetish, I think. So the body gets thrown in. So guess what Pam does? She runs back outside in the pouring rain. Yeah. And coincidentally, she's not wearing anything underneath her shirt.
Yes, you see that.
So we definitely see that.
Yeah.
So Jason attacks her, and
oh yeah, she was that attack was just so God, that was terrible. It's like she trips over the ghostly branch, she falls, and then she just can't get up. She's crawling around. She's running. She's looking over her shoulder. She's crawling. It's like, get up. You know, that's what they want. They want everybody to sit there and say, get up. But the fact of this is, like, she just wouldn't get up. It was just like, okay, you're not hurt. Get up. And she just kept on crawling. And it was just like, okay, this is it's like
stupid.
I was just laughing at that. And by the time you got to her, you're just like, okay, you know, you're gonna die because you took too long in crawling. Okay.
Yeah, basically.
But the cavalry shows up, and it's Reggie, and he breaks out of the garage, and he's driving a tractor, like a home. They're doing construction, and you see that when you rolled up into the movie started, they rolled to the facility. You saw some workmen. They were working, and one of the things they were working with was this tractor, and then Reggie goes ahead and he goes after Jason, and then Jason does what the leather guys does. He just stands there and let it happen. You know, it's like the guy's gonna stand there and let you put a flare in your mouth. Well, Jason just stands there and lets the tractor hit his legs, hit him thigh high. It looked like it hit him in his thighs, but I guess it got him in the stomach, and it knocks him flat. And so he knocks him flat. And then, of course, does Reggie just keep going to make sure? No, he stops the tractor. He gets out there to help Pam. And then those two take off again. And no, they walk toward Jason. And then Jason reaches out and grabs their legs. And then they run. And then he gets up, and we see that Jason has been hurt because he has blood on his hands. He's been, but again, he doesn't make a sound.
No.
He doesn't make a sound. And that was sort of strange right there to me. It's like, okay, why aren't you having him make a sound? You know that would have hurt. We know that you weren't just going to get up from that with like going, oh, okay, and just keep going. I couldn't understand that either. It would have made it more interesting to me. I guess they wanted to keep the mythos, like if Jason was dead, would he make a sound?
Right. Yeah, maybe so. So okay, so yeah, so now they run into Reggie and Pam run into the barn that they came out of the that Reggie came out with the tractor.
Right.
So of course Jason, slowly gets up, and he's all like, he's all hurt, and so he goes in after him, and then Pam is hiding in a like a little closet or something in the barn, and she comes out with a giant, well, not really giant, it's sort of a regular size.
Reggie baited them first. Remember, Jason baited them. I mean, Reggie baited them though. He just, because when he came in there, Jason was Reggie's on one half of it, and he showed himself. He made him. He says, "Here I am," and he's wearing this all red outfit too, so it was going to be hard not to see.
Can't miss him. Yeah.
But he stands up, and then Jason walks over there, and then he hits the bar with the cleaver, with a machete, and then and Reggie's standing behind it, and then Pam comes out with the chainsaw. I thought that was pretty badass myself.
Yeah, I did too. And she's ready. She's ready to fight. Like she's like, I'm all right. I'm in it now. So so Pam's fighting him off with a chainsaw, and she nicks him somewhere. I forgot where exactly.
On the shoulder. Yeah.
I thought it was around the shoulder. But then of course, what happens? The damn thing runs out of gas.
Damn it! Well, with gas prices being what they are, of course he did.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh. If this was now, yeah.
Yeah.
Poor Leatherface, man. He has to buy all that gas now. Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what's really. You think Leatherface is the killer? Wait till you see those gas prices.
Yeah. Yes, her name is Pam, just like Jason's mother. Yes. Yep. Yeah, another interesting little twist there. So after she runs out of gas on the chainsaw, suddenly Tommy finally reappears.
Finally.
Yeah, in the barn door. Like there's a big open barn door. And actually there's a really cool shot when Jason first walks into the barn because it's still, remember, it's pouring down raining. So it's this big open, big gigantic open door. So Jason just kind of stands there and the rain's falling on him. And, we're inside the barn, so we're nice and dry and everything. So it's actually probably my favorite shot in the whole movie. And it's really cool looking because you got all the stuff falling inside of the hole, the hole of the door.
Right.
Yeah, really cool scene.
They did have a lot of cool shots in this film.
Yeah, they did. Danny Steinman did a pretty good job. So yes, okay. So now Tommy appears in that same hole that I was just talking about. And he and Jason kind of have a stare down, and Tommy's like kind of remembering all the ending of 4. He remembers. He's like, "Die, Jason, blah blah blah. Remember, blah blah blah," and all this stuff. So Jason actually goes over to him and kind of hits him. He hits Tommy with the machete.
Yeah. it was a little surprising to see Tommy. He sort of took it. You would think that if anything would have sparked his anger and his rage, it would have been that. Like, okay, he sees it. I mean, yes, I know that he's supposed to, like, he's thinking, oh my God, is this a ghost? Am I hallucinating again? But I mean, once he realizes it's really what he's seeing, you just think that he just would have just said, oh hell no, and then got busy. But he was really, really shy. He was really reluctant to engage.
Yeah.
And whereas he didn't have any problem at all in the whole movie up to that point. I mean,
True.
putting on a mask, fight. Fat Boy goes up there and rankles him, fight, and fights. But now this, and then he's sort of like he's shrinking, and it was just like it was like it would be the opposite reaction than what I would expect. It'd be like, oh my God, hell no, and then go after it. Like, oh, you're not coming back. Oh, no, I killed your ass, and if I have to kill you again, I'm going to do that too. But he was really shy and reluctant to engage, and then that's what allowed Jason to wound him, and
Yeah.
and then he climbed on stairs. They come upstairs, and you're waiting for Jason to recover and come after and up the stairs and get him, but he managed to make it up to the second floor in good shape.
Yeah. But right before that, Tommy actually gets Jason in the leg with a knife.
You're right.
So
Yeah.
Jason is now even more hurt.
Yeah. I mean, he fucked. That was a deep wound too. I mean, he put it right on up near his femoral artery. I was a little surprised at that. I'm like, okay, they're going to show blood for sure. Or you're going to hear him like say, "Son of a bitch," that hurts. But you don't hear that. You just, again, no sound.
Mm-mm. Okay, so Tommy goes up to the second level. Let's see. Okay, so Tommy goes up to the second level, and then Jason goes up to the second level. Very slowly, by the way, because of course he's banged up.
Yeah,
he's banged up pretty good.
Yeah, they did a nice job of seeing how he's slowing down.
Yeah. So okay, so now everybody's up now on the second floor of this barn, and Pam attacks Jason with a stick, and which I thought was kind of funny. I don't know why, but I was like, okay, what the hell is that gonna do?
Yeah, right.
But Reggie is kind of hiding, kind of up in the rafters. Okay. So let's see what happened here. My TV just went up. So Reggie jumps off of the ledge onto Jason and pushes Jason out of the opening on the second floor of the barn. And so we think Jason, has been knocked off. And of course they go over to check, and of course Jason's just hanging on the damn ledge, of course.
Yeah.
So let's see. So yeah, he hangs on. He grabs Reggie. He really loves to grab Reggie in this movie because he does it like 2 or 3 times. And so Tommy's laying there, all wounded in the shoulder, right? And he kind of looks over and he sees the machete laying there. So Tommy grabs the machete, and he goes over and he whacks Jason in the face with the machete. Now, what this does is it actually removes the mask off of Jason's face.
Well, he chops off his hand.
Yeah, that's true. He chops off his hand too, like his fingers. Yeah.
Yeah, he chopped off his wrist. Yeah.
Yeah. So he gets him in the face, and so Jason knocks back and finally falls this time. The mask flies off, and Jason falls into a bed of spikes.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, it's like a bed of spikes just hanging out right there. And so Jason goes and Jason gets impaled on the spikes. So this is now we see what Jason really looks like.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, it is not Jason Voorhees.
What?
Spoiler alert.
What? Oh, spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert, by the way. It is the paramedic Roy Burns.
Wow.
So
Never
yeah,
thought that.
it's the other paramedic.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So now at this point, we're just like WTF.
This is where the part where the movie right here, right now, this is the part about the movie where the last 10 minutes of it, the last five, is where I liked it the very least. I did not like the ending at all.
And I think this is why this one is hated so much.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you.
Because it's not Jason, and it's a guy pretending to be Jason.
Right. And it's the wrong guy to be pretending he's Jason.
Yeah.
It should not have been Roy. It should have been Duke. It really should have.
Yeah.
It just would have made more sense.
So after the big reveal, there are a couple more scenes. We now cut to the hospital with Pam and Reggie. They're apparently both okay. They're kind of sitting out in the hallway, and the sheriff comes up to him, and he explains the reasoning why Roy did this.
Yeah.
So he comes and he says that Roy was actually the father of Joey, who was the little fat kid with the candy bar that got murdered in the beginning.
Right.
By Vic. So he used that to start killing people. Like he used that as an excuse to start killing all these people at the halfway house because he was upset because his kid died. Now, the interesting parallel for me is that isn't that what Pamela Voorhees did?
Oh, when she saw her Jason die.
Saw Jason die,
When he thought he drowned.
Yeah. So basically, he's pulling a Pamela Voorhees here. Basically, if you really think about it.
Okay, but here's the big difference for me. Okay, the big difference is that Pamela Voorhees was just a normal cook. That's all she did.
She was.
Yeah. She was a cook. Okay.
Yeah.
Roy is a seasoned paramedic. Okay, he has seen this a lot of times. I mean, Duke was sitting there going like when he saw it was Joey, and he says, when everybody's gasping and turning away, he says, "You're a bunch of pussies." He was calloused, because after a while, this is a risk in the job of being a paramedic, is you become hardened to what you see. That's what made him. That's why it would have made him the better killer, is because he just didn't care. Whereas Roy, when he saw it, I just no, it just didn't fit for me. And the fact of the matter is that because he would have saw the child, and he would have just like Pamela did. Like when Pamela saw it was her son that drowned, she was emotional about it. She was like fired up. So I mean, from the get go. Whereas Roy, he would have saw that. I mean, for one thing, he would have. There's just no way he would have saw that. Especially he knew his boy was there. The first thing he would have done when he rolled up there is like, "Where's my boy?" He would have said that to the doctor. "Where's my son?" Okay, or at the very least, the doctor would have said, saw Roy get out of the car and take him aside to sit there and say, you don't want to go over there. You don't want to see this. Something's terrible happened. He would have been handled differently. There's just no way you're going to buy that Roy's going to go over there. You see his son. No one's going to give him any warning at all, and sit there and say, "Oh yeah, that's the way you were going to show your son." He would have, and then he stood up, and you're trying to tell me that he wouldn't have showed any emotion. Pamela Voorhees showed plenty of emotion, and then he just looked at him, and then he looks up, and then they did the wrong killer. It should have been Duke. It would have been a lot more believable. Well, it would have, to me.
I think having Duke do it would have. I mean, I totally get what you're saying, but to me, I think that would have been too obvious.
Well, no, because who would ever suspected paramedics anyway? That's the last two people you would have expected to be paramedics. That's why it would have been great for Duke to do, because one, he's a paramedic, and two, yeah, we already seen. You could have had a little foreboding when the way he reacted, like, okay, look at them, look how they're reacting. That's what he wanted. He was enjoying their reaction to what they saw. He was like, okay, there you go. I mean, that's what Jason did. That's what Pamela Voorhees did. They were using the shock value. She would kill somebody and throw it through the window, shock the person. That's something exactly that Duke would have done. He would have did it for that reason, just to see him to be panicky and to be scared and be frightened, because he wanted to see the reaction. He would have fed off of it. And whereas Roy, I just think Roy just would have I don't know. I just see Roy just, getting in the car, and, the only person I see Roy killing, if anybody, it would have been Vic, either Vic or the doctor. Vic for doing it, and the doctor for allowing it. But that's all I would see. I couldn't see him going around killing the rest of the kids when they're all basically they're all basically. I just didn't buy it. I didn't buy him as the killer.
Well, if you notice too, when he saw Joey, the face he makes is very. I don't even know how to describe him. He's just like, and like I don't like to me, that's when you rewatch it, that signifies that he snapped.
No, that's such a it's so fast. It doesn't register at all. It really doesn't. Duke a lot more.
Yeah, on first viewing, you definitely don't notice it. But since going into it, I had seen this before, obviously, so I knew who the killer was. So I was watching for stuff, and I did notice that. And I don't know. I like you said on first watch, yeah, you definitely don't notice this stuff at all.
Well, Kal-El, that's not true, Steve. No, you're not going to sit there as a doctor or any other way. You're gonna. Wow.
Well, wait,
okay.
well, let's.
I guess someone wants to slip into asshole mold today for us. Okay, whatever.
Well, let's finish the story.
Let's take this a little deeper, because as someone who's seen someone who's died before, okay, someone died right there, you get an idea what people react to it, okay? And believe me, there's not going to be a single person that's going to raise up there and see their son and not react to it. He's not going to just sit there and have his eyes wide open and then walk away from it. It's just not going to happen. The doctor is not going to sit there and let the father of the son who died there, he's not going to let them walk over and look it up and see what happens. He's not going to do it. He's not. He would have took him aside and not let him see that. It's just, that's what made Duke better for it, because Duke didn't give a shit. If the doctor would have took him aside and took Roy aside and say, listen, but otherwise Roy is going to react. He's going to react with a cry. He's going to be with rage. He's going to react with some emotion. He's not just going to look there and just open his eyes a little bit, because I rewatched the scene. He's not going to just open up his eyes a little bit and then that's going to be a sign that he snapped. He's going to be a lot more. If he would have raged, if he would have got up there and just if he would have grabbed the doctor by the collar, if he would have showed any emotion, because Pamela Voorhees did. If you go back to her, she showed emotion. She showed them right off the bat. She killed those two counselors. She was angry, and she made no bones about it. Roy did not do anything. He didn't show any emotion at all, other than they showed his eyes. Whereas Duke showed more emotion by laughing at them. That's to me, honestly, that's what makes him the better killer.
But what would have made Duke do that?
Because Duke is a sadistic, hardened. At that point in his career, because everybody reacts to it a little differently. Like we don't even know how Roy acted to it, because they didn't allow him to show it. Whereas Duke, they did show it. They sit there and look, there's Duke. He's hardened. He's callous. He's a little bit sadistic. And not only that, but think about this. He would have known Roy, that was Roy's boy. If they'd been together on ambulance, the partners, he would have known that was his son. After all those times riding around together, he would have known that. And for him to still sit there, see that, and still make those comments, come on, Duke would have been the better killer.
We see that's where I think nobody knew that Joey was his son except for him. That's the way I saw it, and that's why he was just this little kid, whatever, blah blah blah, and that's why he was making all those rude comments.
I see. I don't think I don't think that I don't, of course he didn't, when he said that, he did say it sort of underneath his breath, and two, like he didn't even try to get up. If they would have showed him getting up, seeing that it was Joey and that was his partner's son, you think that they could have showed him getting up there and like consoling him, to goad him, like, you don't want to see this or anything like that. But they didn't. He just sat there and he knew it. He knew it because obviously, and Roy too. If you think about it, if they get an emergency call out to that facility, and you're sending the father, you don't think he's not going to come out of the car door, looking? Like the first thing he's going to do is, "Where's my son?" The very first thing he would say was, "Where's my boy?"
But
and nothing.
But he seemed to be estranged from his son, though. From what I gather, I don't know.
Then why would he snap over it?
I don't know. People, different people react to different stuff. I don't know.
I just think it just would have been a more effective, and Duke was ready. I mean, he was just. I just think it just would have made it a little bit better movie. It would have made it just a little bit more better. I mean,
it would have been interesting
because maybe everybody would have suspected Roy because that was his son, which is even better reason why to throw him a swerve. Like, okay, well, let's say Roy's going to see his son, that's going to make him snap. Well, yeah, it's just like Pamela Voorhees, but why not swerve it and make the least obvious, But I personally would have picked Duke. Duke would have been the one I would have picked because he was evil. He was evil.
The little bit we saw of him, yeah, because we saw him even less than Roy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I just don't. I just I look at the movie like what would you do? What would you? How this is how I look at films. It's like you got to apply it to real life. Like what would the action be in real life? Because it makes the scene the movie a lot more powerful and more, I know it's a horror film and I know it's not reality, but if you put yourself in those shoes, it just makes the story much better. It makes the performances much more real. And isn't that really what we want to do? Don't we really want to get into the movie and experience what those people are feeling?
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I look at it. I mean, I looked at it like, wow, that would be so screwed to find out that was your boy. I mean, you just sit there and you just wouldn't just look at it and walk away. You would just react. On some level.
You also have to remember too that Roy is not mentally stable.
But we never got that. We never got that at all. We never get any impression of that at all.
We don't, but we do because he imitates Jason.
But we don't know. But okay, well, there's no hint of him going crazy like that. I mean, whereas Pamela Voorhees, when we see her the first time, the more she talks, the more we see that she did go off the rails. But we don't hear Roy talk. We don't see Roy. We just see him coming out there, seeing what happens. That's all we see him until the reveal. Right. So we have no idea that he goes off the rails. Whereas Pamela Voorhees, we do. We see that. We see that she's nuts. And we see more of Duke being off the rails than Roy does. Just by him looking at the body and seeing the reactions and seeing the words, we know that Duke is not all there. He's not a nice person.
Well, maybe that influence rubbed off on Roy. Maybe Duke's influence of his crazy.
You know what that? Yeah, I mean, yeah, and see, there, Vanessa says Pamela had years to get her emotions under control, and yet she didn't. She didn't. But she did. She was. I mean, she was. I mean, that's a good point, Vanessa. And that proves my point too. It's like, here's someone who has years to get her emotions under control, and yet 10 minutes after she meets Alice, she's ready to take her head off. She's like talking, she's already showing off her anger, her pain, and everything else. She couldn't keep it she could not keep a lid on it at all, and she'd been doing that for years. 20 years she'd been living like that.
Yeah.
And she still couldn't control it. And then Roy is just going to sit there and go like, oh, I'll pop the eyes a little bit, and that's no. It's not. It's just a little bit weak storytelling, maybe. I mean, it doesn't affect the movie, but I mean, it does. It just. I mean, if you're going to make a person not a Jason to be a Jason, it's to me, it's like make the candidate that actually fits the profile, because and it would have been Duke. It would have been Duke, in my opinion.
Right, I got you. All right, well, the story's not quite over yet. So
yeah, this is the other part that goes crazy.
So now's the crazy part.
Yeah, so, I agree with you.
Okay, so now it cuts to Pam visiting Tommy in his hospital room. Okay. Because Tommy's he's all effed up with the shoulder and whatnot. So so Pam goes to visit Tommy in his room, and he cuts to he has a machete in the bed with him, and so he machetes Pam.
Yeah.
Of course, this ends up being a dream. So this is another dream. This is at least the second dream in this movie. Which is interesting. There's all these dreams. Is this foreshadowing to Freddy? I don't. Probably not. But I'm just saying. So he wakes up, and then he sees the image of Jason at the foot of his bed. Now, this Jason has on the real Jason mask with the red diamonds on it. We neglected to say that Roy's mask has the blue diamonds on it.
Right.
So it's a different mask. It's a different hockey mask that Roy was using. So it's a big tell right there. So whenever you see a Jason with the blue diamond mask, that's a Roy mask.
Right.
So Tommy sees Jason at the foot of his bed, and then Jason's face starts bleeding. There's like blood coming out. And also the real Jason mask also has that divot,
right,
from the axe in part 3 in it as well. So Tommy wakes up, it's a dream, another dream. So it's a dream within a dream. So Tommy wakes up, and he pulls the stuff off of him. He gets up, and he goes to the little dresser drawer. And he opens it up.
Yeah.
And he has Roy's mask. So he has the blue diamond mask inside of the dresser drawer.
Yeah.
Okay, number one, how the hell did he get this mask? I mean, I know it flew off of Roy.
It's a car crash of an ending. It's the weakest ending of them all.
So it's like, okay, he has the mask. All right. So now Pam visits Tommy for real. Okay. And she opens the door. She sees that the window of the hospital bed is busted open. And so we see a shot of her standing in front of the door. And then all of a sudden, we see Tommy pop up in the Roy mask with the machete.
With a kitchen knife. It was a little knife.
Or whatever it was, yeah. And
where did he get that?
Right. Yeah. This was the knife. Where did he get the knife from?
Yeah, that ending is just absolutely.
And so he's like, vroom, and then credits roll. So that's how
I think that is probably where this movie deserved its hate, because that ending was just absolutely atrocious.
So yeah. So okay. So. Did it transfer to Tommy again? Is that what they're going for? Because that's kind of what it seemed like before.
Yeah, they're trying to transfer, like Tommy became Jason. It's right. Like it'd be you would think that I don't know. To me, it'd be like again, it'd almost be like the opposite. It'd be like, like I know in the later books and some of the later books and some of the comics or whatever, they established Tommy Jarvis as sort of like an arch nemesis to Jason. It was like his yin to his yang. And to me, it's like that would have been exactly the point you probably would have made here in this movie. Like, I don't necessarily see him becoming like Jason necessarily, but I see him being like enraged against, against what has happened, almost like a, crazy Avenger type, sort of like we saw with Rob from part 3. He's going to be defending or whatever because, he's never again, that sort of thing. But for him to become what he's scared of the most, it's like I understand if they have him facing this fear or whatever. I don't necessarily know I don't know if he would have faced his fear as so much been swallowed by it, because he's just maybe I become what I fear the most and it won't hurt me.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't really buy that at all. I mean, you go back to see his behavior in the whole movie, and it's always been against the Jason type. He's always against it. Someone comes on with a mask, he's against it. Someone's trying to hurt him, he's against it. And for him to sit there and it's like, against these people who tried to help him, I just don't see him turn around and, okay, this young boy and this woman tried to help me, so I'm going to reward them by putting on my mask and killing them. It's just like, I either see him going off the deep end and never ever coming back, like putting him in an institution, or he basically becomes, like he sees Jason everywhere and he's going to go after him, but not to become him. I just didn't see that at all either. I thought that was just like, I thought it was weak writing, I thought it was weak. It's like, okay, so that's what you're going to do. You're going to set up so that the next Jason movie is going to be Tommy Jarvis. Well, there you go. I mean, I just didn't think it was I didn't think it would work. I don't think the fans would have liked it. I don't think the fans would have bought that for the next movie. We're gonna make Tommy the next Jason. I don't think they would have came out for that.
I don't think so either. I think that would have pissed off a lot of people. Honestly.
Yeah, because you're seeing Tommy as a youngster. Okay, for one thing, you're seeing him as a 12-year-old. You see him as a child. Okay, you're seeing what he went through, and then you see him continue to, and he's trying to get better. He's trying to get better. I just don't think the fans would actually put up with the fact that you're going to turn around and just traumatize this kid into becoming a mass killer. I just don't see it. I don't think the fans would either.
It's not a well thought out thing at all.
Like, we didn't see Jason, young Jason. We didn't see him on his journey to becoming Jason, but we have seen Tommy's journey to where he is now, and that's a big thing. That's a big difference because, one, you're invested in Tommy Jarvis as a character because you've seen him now in 2 movies.
Right.
And whereas the original Jason, you didn't. He just popped up on the second one, and there you go. There's no backstory to him, really. We haven't seen it. We've heard of it, but we didn't see it. And what they say, seeing is believing, right?
Right.
So I don't think the fans would have liked it at all. I don't. And it just didn't make any sense. It didn't make any sense for him to turn around and kill the same. It's almost like Pamela Voorhees too. It's like, you wonder why that she. I can understand her killing strangers. I couldn't understand when she killed Steve Christie in the first one. It's like he sees her, he knows who she is,
right?
And then she kills him. I just couldn't understand that. I mean, she's known him for years.
Well,
why was she,
she's not exactly the all there either.
Right.
Really.
But it made you think about it though. It's like, okay, why I could understand killing strangers, but I just couldn't understand the knowing, killing someone. I mean, he really hadn't done anything to her, just like Pam and Reggie hadn't really done anything to Tommy but to help him. So I mean, I just feel like it would have been more interesting to see him come like next time someone came at him wearing a mask. I mean, I really wouldn't recommend that at all.
No, not at all.
That'd be that's the one thing I put in this chart. Like, don't even wear a face mask around him because that'll set him off.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that they did not do that with him. I know he's in the next movie as well. I'm glad they did not keep that. I mean, I'm glad they didn't. I'm glad they brought him back to a different way. Then the movie, because this movie actually, in a sense, it's a little bit more brutal than I thought it would be. If you think about it, think about the kid dying the way he did or whatnot. It was sort of brutal.
It was, and that's actually one of my. I actually have a list of positives and cons here.
Yeah.
Tons of kills. In fact, the kill count on this one is 20. 20 people died in this movie, which is one of the highest out of the whole series. And like you said, every 7 or 8 minutes there was another one. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, I mean, and hats off, because you wonder what happened to the end of the story. Did they run out of time? Was the writer pressed? I mean, it's hard to figure it out because it's like up to the last 10 minutes, to the hospital scene. The story had been really good. It really been good. Yeah. I mean, it was well thought out of. The pace was great. The kills were great. I mean, yeah, they could have been a little more gorier, but it works for back then. It worked. It was really, it's a lot better written. It's definitely far better than part 3. Light years.
Yeah, I definitely think so.
As far as the kills go, yeah, it's number 1 for sure. And I like how you pointed out that they weren't all by Jason either. You're right. You had the 2 that were killed, and then you had Joey.
So yeah, 3 of the 20.
Did you count Roy in the 20? I think no. Roy's 21.
Roy will be 21. Yeah.
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 But so let's see. So I liked all the callbacks to the previous movies, like the Kevin Bacon kill and the breaking through the window, all the callback stuff. I liked Reggie. He was a very likable character.
Yes. And so was Tommy Jarvis in the final chapter. So they had both something very much in common.
Right, with the child, right.
Right.
And of course Ethel was a hoot. So a couple of things I didn't like. I didn't like the guy that played Tommy at all. I just thought he was, I don't know. I just found him annoying, personally.
He only spoke 24 words in the whole movie. He only spoke
24 words in the whole movie. Other than that, he was just like, I mean, I get it. I get why he would be that way. I just didn't like the guy that played him. I don't know. I didn't like it. There was very little character development for anybody, really, in this movie. And
they did sacrifice character development for the kills.
For the kills, yeah, the kills and the nudity, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And the acting, some of it was okay, and then some of it was kind of stiff. So I don't know, but overall, it's a pretty fun movie. Especially since, like he said, it's not really Jason, and I think that is the kicker that really put it over into this movie sucks type of thing, and it really doesn't.
It really doesn't. I would actually sit there and say I would actually include this movie with the first 4. Then you could end it here at 5. Before it goes into goofiness. So you could actually keep this because you could see what happened in the 5th one to happen, and it makes sense. It's sort of grounded in reality somewhat. Whereas after this, it just goes off bonkers, and that's all right. That works. It works because they had to figure out a way to bring Jason back because there's money to be made, right?
Right.
And there's no way they could not. He couldn't do. You got away with the story once. You couldn't do it. You couldn't do it twice. And this is the reason why Tommy Jarvis could not beat Jason, because they just they just wouldn't come out and support that. Um,
Yeah.
so I definitely say it's not the first 4, then onward. I say definitely the first 5, and then onward.
Minus the last. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought the director was fine. And there's one common theme among these movies, and we're sorry for running a little late. We'll wrap it up soon.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap it up.
There's one thing I have to sit there and say too. There's one familiar thing that goes through these movies, and that is, it seems like all the actors that did these movies, their careers all stalled. Pretty much, they all stalled out. If you go back there and look at their credits, a lot of them just ended for them right after this. It just maybe maybe a couple jobs here and there, but overall, they're all done. They didn't really do anything for the rest of their career.
All done. Shavar Ross showed up in a couple of things. And yeah, that was about it. Yeah.
The director, Stalin,
Danny Steinman.
He directed 4 films of his whole career. The other film he got notoriety for was Savage Streets with Linda Blair,
which is a good one too.
That's a good exploitation movie.
Yeah.
But he only did 4 movies, and one of them was a porn movie. And this is why a lot of people think that this movie was the more sleaziest of the movies so far, because I didn't, other than the one scene with the girl in the bunk bed, I didn't really see a sleaze factor into this at all. I didn't see anything sleazy. Maybe Kanicki, but he was a sleazy character, but I didn't see the movie being sleazy.
Yeah, no. I didn't either. Not really.
I thought that was I didn't think so. I was shocked that he only did 4 movies, because he was a good director.
Yeah,
I didn't have any problems at all with this movie. I thought the pacing was great. For the writing, for what it was till the end, it was decent.
However,
I think this movie should. I looked at the movie database, and they still had this movie as a 4.7.
However, Danny Steinman is a notorious bully, from what we have.
Okay, he was a dick that bullied his final girl. Really, Melanie Kinnaman.
I had actually heard this too. Melanie Kinnaman, who plays Pam, has stated that the entire shoot, that Danny Steinman was a complete bully, and he really didn't direct very much during the shoot. So I think that's interesting. But so whoever ended up really directing this thing, did a pretty good job. But yeah, apparently Steinman was a dick. Yeah, that is what I heard too.
Yep. Thanks, Star-Lord. Yeah, it was the end game. The last 10 minutes definitely was, all the way up to then. But yeah, I like I said, I mean, people look at films a different way. I look at my films for like if they were really happening. To me, it helps me connect to the story and the characters. So I don't really just see them as just on the screen. You sort of, I like to look at them like in real, if there's in this situation, what would you do? How would you react or whatever? It helps the movie for me, and that's the reason why that's the reason why I've seen some things, we all have, but I've seen some things, and I just know that how 99.9% of the people would have reacted if they would have saw their boy being chopped up. People react differently, Cal, but there's some things that are universal. I don't know anybody that would see their kid get chopped up and not react, other than just with a flat face. Even if they were in shock, they're still going to have reaction. They're going to be. It's just how it is. Unfortunately, seen enough of that. Don't want to go into that, but that's seen it, been through it. So that's all. I mean, we have to talk to the script writer. That's to say, well, what did you think? What were you saying in that scene? The gentleman who played Roy, he actually made another movie. He actually made a movie. Actually, the Night Watch Zone discovered this. I didn't know this until I watched it, but he did a movie right after this called Evil Laugh, and he ended up directing. Yeah, he ended up directing that movie, and which I didn't know anything about. I never even heard of that movie, and then he just passed away. I think a couple of years ago, 2 or 3 years ago.
Well,
The
that's
gentleman.
funny because if you have you seen Evil Laugh?
No, I've never seen it.
Okay, so it's sort of a Friday knockoff.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that's actually pretty funny. I'm actually going to rewatch that because I actually have the DVD of it. Interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was his movie.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. He took over the film and he directed it because they didn't have the budget for it. So he became the director. And
Nice.
then yep. So and then and then the other thing that happened this week, since we were on here last, is as the gentleman who played the cop in the second movie, I think it was.
Second movie, yeah.
The guy who got the hammer to the head, he passed away this week.
Yep, sure did.
So yeah, so that's a little sad news for us, Friday the 13th fans. It's just but it's a very fun series, and I don't know. I have zero idea what the next one is. Is that the one with the telekinetic?
No, that's 7.
Okay.
So we got one more in the middle.
But we will be back to your channel next week for part 6. So we'll be here at 9:00 next Sunday night. I guess we're going to be next week's going to be a lot of fun because it's going to go into silliness, I think. So we'll go there and see what we can dig up. Yes, we still want you to come up for part 7, Keith. Yes, we have you down for part 7.
Yes, definitely.
Yep. There you go. Gorephobe will be joining us for Jason Takes Vancouver.
No, the New Blood. That's the telekinetic one.
Yes.
7.
Yep.
Yep.
All right. Thanks again for hanging out with us. We'll be on, like I said, we'll be on Al's channel next Sunday night at 9 p.m. Go ahead and we'll see you guys there. If you have any questions or whatnot, drop a comment down below. If you have any questions about the series, if you want us to find out or talk about a particular subject about the series, drop a comment down below, and we'll find out by next Sunday. I guarantee it.
Oh yeah.
You have questions, we have answers. All right, you want to sign us out there, Al?
All right. Well, the only thing I got is tomorrow evening I'm dropping the Dollar Tree Theater, and then Tuesday is the return of Tubi Tuesday, and also I will be on Gorephobe's channel talking about our top 10 80s slasher flicks.
Wow.
So that'll be at 8 p.m. on Gorephobe's channel. So that should be cool.
On 80s slasher flicks.
80s slasher flicks. Yep.
So,
top 10.
So Halloween 78 will not be number 1.
Correct.
Okay. I can see it. Okay.
Yep. And like I said,
didn't Halloween 2 come out in 81?
It did. Yeah.
Okay, that'll be number 1.
So that counted. Yeah. That technically counts. And then of course, next Sunday, part 6 on my channel. And
when's the slasher show?
The slasher show is at 9 p.m. Eastern.
9 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday.
Tuesday on Gorephobe's channel. Yeah.
Okay, I'll be over as soon as we're done here with 8 questions. I'll bounce on over and check you guys out.
Yeah.
All right. Hi Casey, how are you? I see all the pumpkins. All right. Thanks so much, guys. I appreciate it, and we'll see you next Sunday. I don't have the outro. Peace.
Peace.
Stay there, Al.